and that's 18!
Navi put their pieces in place to take the lead in this grand final. Carrigan, oh, just looked away, and he's getting shot in the spine. Twist can not reply, he's got nothing to provide. Into the side, down and out. Navi, 3-3, a quick one out of Brookie. Twist is there as well, we're in a 2-on-2. That happened in the blink of an eye, and in the drop of a hat, Simple puts his AWP on his back, and a deagle right to the temple, falls down to Twist. FaZe recover off the back of the Canadian sensation, and Rookie of the Year could try and close.
The entirety of IEM Cologne felt like everyone, every fan of Counter-Strike, every analyst, every commentator, every pundit, even some of the players, I think, looking at this and just saying, please, give us Navi versus FaZe. It's the final that everyone wants. FaZe coming into IEM Cologne had one of the greatest 6-month stretches that any team could ever possibly dream of having in Counter-Strike. They won everything. A major of their own. They were on the path to another Grand Slam title. They had a great start to it. But more impressively is it didn't really feel like anyone except for Navi was close to them. And on Navi's part coming into this, they were coming off of a trophy lift in Lisbon where they won the Blast Spring Final. They did it with a brand new in-game leader as well in Electronic who had shifted into that position. He's always been Simple's right-hand man. Whenever they've needed like a second fragger on the team behind Simple, Electronic's been the one to step up. But all of a sudden you burden him with leadership and there's some real questions about whether he'll still be able to provide that. And it obviously showed that he could. Both teams had these achievements leading into the event that kind of let the world know this was number 1 and number 2. But that ranking actually shifted. They jumped over each other and back and forth. It was insignificant seeing those rankings bounce back and forth because they were just so close. They were so close to each other. And the fact that this is coming up right before the player break, right before the entire Counter-Strike scene gets to take a deep breath and enjoy a 1-month vacation, this was sort of the biggest clash heading into that. This was a wonderful way to end things, and it was a challenge of whether anyone could actually stop FaZe. And Navi was the only team who felt like that could stand in that path and actually stand up to the task. So at this point, we also know what Bit provides. He's an incredible headshot machine. He's got incredible talent. He has huge impact for Navi when they need it from him on LAN, high pressure moments, huge tournaments, trophy lifting moments that you can't really, prescribe inexperience to someone who's lifted a major trophy in his rookie season. Like, he's already won pretty much most of the things that every pro player takes years for them to accomplish. So I don't think anyone expected him to falter. He's also not allowed to falter. And what they expect to come from Bit in this is providing high impact moments. Is when everything else is falling apart, Bit really felt like kind of a third star within this team. So when there's failures elsewhere on the map, Navi's put a lot of faith and a lot of trust in Bit to be able to actually pick up the pieces and recover those scenarios and deliver high impact moments.
This clutch for Bit truly begins with Simple's decision in the 2v2. He has a choice to play aggressively here to try and be a hero before Bit arrives, or he could actually choose to go passive, use his ult for deep lines of sight when the smoke clears, gain positional information on his opponents that will help him and his teammate work together in tandem. Simple obviously makes the former choice. He makes the aggressive choice, and you can see he gets punished immediately trying to come through the smoke. He gets entirely lost, and Twist is able to find him. Now, at this point on, all the pressure truly is on Bit's shoulders. He turns the corner having no concrete idea of where his opponents are. Because of this, he's forced to throw caution to the wind and take a lot of risks. A clutch like this never comes without taking risks. And he knows also attempting to clear every single angle, every single corner, and every single position would actually just be a death sentence. It would take way too much time. Bit's goal at this moment is to just gain information. That's exactly what's needed to win this clutch. He can make an educated guess on the positioning of Twist moving in towards Cave, but the second player on Rops could basically be anywhere on the map, and that's the X factor of this entire scenario. He actually spots the shoulder of Twist over in cave, which is phenomenal. He knows one player, but he also knows that Rops can be in so many different positions that might just end this attempt at a clutch before it even begins. Bit's going to deploy a defensive smoke between the pillar and the wall right by the bomb. It's placed perfectly. It actually covers enough of the bomb to give the illusion that he could be defusing inside the smoke, and that makes a lot of pressure on Rops and Twist to be able to handle the situation. It also forces an uncomfortable fight for any one of those players that would come through the smoke. Laid this trap with his smoke and the little bit of information he has, he actually springs it by tapping the bomb and tapping the defuse, making this sound cue. That's going to force Twist through the smoke, and wonderfully for Bit, it also forces Rops to make his play and finally give up his position. He'd wrapped around and doubled up inside of the cave, which can be very tough to deal with, but spamming through the boards, Bit realizes he's got an easy 1v1 outside of it as Twist still thinks he's defusing inside the smoke, and then realizes he's actually won the clutch by positioning automatically. He jumps immediately on the bomb to tap it, and Rops takes a single step back because he can tell in his own gameplay, he realized he's been beat. He has no chance of getting around the pillar in time, no chance of running through the smoke in time, and all he can do is spam the boards uselessly one final time as Bit becomes the hero of map 3 and closes it out in overtime for Navi.
Oh, Twist on the jiggle. Confirms the position. Smoke and kit, I remind you. That's going to get the nerves going. Round the world. He's baited them in. They can't find him. Twist distracted. If he could just do it again. He's on it. And he's tapping it. Rops nervous in the big stage. As Bit closes it out. A monstrous clutch. As the rookie keeps his cool. And pulls Navi into the lead of this grand finals.